everyone. Before we begin our official ceremony today, I'd like to start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the lands on which Memorial University's campuses are situated are in the traditional territories of diverse Indigenous groups. And we acknowledge with respect the histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of this province. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Matthews, and I'm the president of the Memorial University Pharmacy Society. I'll be your master of ceremonies for this event, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you all. This is a very special day for us at the School of Pharmacy as we formally induct both the class of 2025 and 2026 into the profession of pharmacy. As a student who was inducted at the ceremony 4 years ago, I can say that this event is a significant milestone in the life of a pharmacy student. When I wear my white coat now, community members recognize me as part of the profession of pharmacy. And with that comes a sense of trust and respect that was built by our profession in the past. I know that every one of you will interpret your new sense of pride and professionalism in your own way. As your class paves a new path for the profession, it'll be even more important to uphold the long history of professionalism built behind you as you take your careers to new and exciting places. We are extremely honored to have some very special dignitaries and speakers with us here this evening, who will address our students about the meaning of the white coat ceremony and their roles and responsibilities as members of the pharmacy profession. We are pleased to have Pam Burns, Director of Pharmacy Services, here to join us this evening. Ms. Burns will be bringing greetings on behalf of the province, and we're so glad that you're joining us this year. Dr. Vianne Timmons, President and Vice Chancellor of Memorial University, this will be your first white coat ceremony with us as President. We are very, very thankful to have you here with us today. Also joining us are several members of the pharmacy community, including 9 pharmacists that will be donning the white coats, who are family members of the classes of 2025 and 2026, and it's very special to have you here with us today. We also have the President of the Pharmacists Association of Newfoundland and Labrador, as well as our alumna from the class of 2015 and the 2021 recipient of our Alumni Achievement Award, Janice Sado. As always, we have Margot Priddle, Registrar of the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board, along with Tagerty Norris from the class of 2011, who will lead us in reciting the NLPB Code of Ethics. This year's honorary white coat will go to Christina Tulk, who is no stranger to most of us here at the school. Christina is a graduate of the School of Pharmacy in the class of 2002. Our Dean, Dr. Sean Bugden, and our 2017 white coat recipient, Dawn Rowe, will present Christina Tulk with her white coat this evening. This evening's event will culminate in the official donning of the white coats and recitation of the Newfoundland and Labrador's Pharmacy Board's Code of Ethics and the School of Pharmacy's Pledge of Professionalism. I would now like to invite Dr. Vianne Timmons to bring us greetings on behalf of Memorial University, Newfoundland and Labrador.
Thank you, Erin. Didn't she do a good job, you guys? Come on. I am so excited. This is like my first time with students in a room together in 2 years. I'm in my 3rd year as president, and I haven't done this before. And I can't even see your faces, which makes me so a little bit sad, but makes me really happy I'm here. So people often start speeches with, "I'm thrilled to be here." But I really am thrilled to be here. The best part of my job is doing work like this, meeting you, our fabulous, talented students. And like I said, that hasn't happened much over the last 2 years. And I get not 1, but 2 pharmacy classes, double the joy. And they're to both classes, let's give a big hand. So on behalf of your university, Memorial University community, I want to welcome everyone, those here and those online. I want to thank you for coming today to celebrate this academic milestone for our students. You know, I recognize it's been a tough couple of years, hasn't it? It's been a tough couple of years. Tough couple of years for faculty, for staff, and students. So I want to do a special shout out to all of you who ensured that today could happen for 2 of our classes. And welcome also to the partners from outside the university. It's important. There are many people who are part of our extended community who influence and inspire you, our students, and we're grateful for our relationship with community members, and we recognize the tremendous value that you bring and add to our teaching and learning. So to the class of 2025 and 2026, I know you've worked hard to get into pharmacy school, and I'm sure you're going to continue to strive to become the best pharmacists and healthcare providers that you can be, and we're counting on it. And your work is so important. My pharmacist is one of my favorite people. I love going to see the pharmacist. I love when they say, "Oh, hi, Vianne," when I walk up. Like, that just fills me. And I often go and ask advice. And I know from my father, who had a lot of medical issues, a good pharmacist was critical to his health. I was traveling on a Newfoundland Labrador summer tour 2 years ago. I called Tales from the Road Mun, and I was in Woody Point, and I was doing little videos. Anybody watch the Tales from the Road Mun? One or two of you. That's how popular it was. Anyway, I was in Woody Point, and I was doing a little video with one of the grads, and I got a note from a pharmacist in Rocky Harbor, and they asked if I could come and drop by the pharmacy. Isn't that wonderful? So it was alum grads. I went and dropped by, and I did a Tales from the Road Mun with every pharmacist was a Mun grad in Rocky Harbor, and in that clinic, and it was so much fun for them to tell me how they love Memorial and what they learned here. So it's really important, and I know that you will continue that tradition of pride and become the best pharmacists and healthcare providers that you can possibly be, and we're all counting on it. We are. I know you will become leaders in your profession, continuing the path of your chosen careers and improving healthcare in our province. Some of you might be also budding entrepreneurs like Bronwyn Bridges, the PhD student and winner of the Mel Woodward Cup, whose company researches Parkinson's disease. Just happened. That's the thing about healthcare providers. You make a real difference in people's lives, like my father's. You also become superstars. Over the past 2 years, you played a real important role in helping individuals make it through the pandemic. You, as students, chipped in giving COVID vaccine shots and helping out in a very heavily stretched system. So you can see as you enter pharmacy the important role you play. So thank you to all of you, pharmacists and students alike here today. This student body is impressively proactive in planning student events, including Pharmacist Awareness Month each March and throughout the year. And I had a look at the Facebook page, Pharmacy Awareness Month, and wow, if any of the planners are here online, you've done an amazing job. So for pharmacy students, you have a role as leaders in this community. You have a role at Memorial to be student leaders also. Your peers have set an impressive standard for enthusiasm and leadership in your profession. And my expectation is you're gonna rise to that challenge. And you're gonna do everything you can to make sure your experiences here is rich and rewarding. Someone asked me what advice I would give to students. A university education, what you get out of it is what you put into it. And that's the only advice I can give you. If you want a fabulous experience, then put a lot into it. If you want a mediocre one, which I hope you don't, then don't put that much into it. But I would suggest that for each one here, you're high achievers. You know what you want to do. You've picked a fabulous profession. You are going to all be high achievers and great ambassadors for your university, Memorial University. As you do yourselves proud, and as you succeed, you do the university proud. I wish you best over the next few years as you complete your studies, and I look forward to celebrating all your successes while you're here. And if you see me in the hallway, at Winners, on the street, in a pub, come up and say hello to me, introduce yourself, tell me about yourself, tell me how your studies are going, because I haven't had that chance to meet students, and I do want to meet each and every one of you, because that's important to me. Thank you for choosing Memorial University, Newfoundland and Labrador, and thank you for choosing this profession, a noble, important profession where you not only make a difference, but you will save lives in the work you do. No more important work in the world than saving lives. Thank you again for being students here at Memorial and choosing pharmacy as your profession. Remember, say hi to me when you see me.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Timmons. It was great to hear you speak.
Oh, Erin, just I have to slip out at 6. Let them all know that.
It sounds good. Dr. Timmons will be slipping out at 6, but she was very happy to be here with all of you. And next we're going to welcome Miss Pam Burns, who will bring greetings from the government of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Hi, everyone. Oh, that's going to be a hard act to follow. That was terrific. Almost makes me want to go back to university again. Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening and to represent the Honorable John Hagee, Minister of Health and Community Services. He does send his congratulations to each and every one of you on your special night. Memorial University School of Pharmacy provides quality education, opportunities for research, experiential programs, and service learning in order to advance your career and the pharmacy profession. Pharmacy is unique among the healthcare professions. It provides hands-on patient care and naturally allows you the opportunity to do more than just counsel on the proper use of medications. A recent example of the wide scope of the profession is how pharmacists remained accessible healthcare providers amidst the pandemic and played an integral role in the success of the COVID-19 vaccination rollout in communities across the province. You will become a trusted voice, a problem solver, and confidant. Pharmacists are on the front lines of healthcare, a responsibility you should take seriously. Over the next several years, you will work purposefully to prepare for the provision of patient care in such settings as retail and independent pharmacies, hospitals and healthcare facilities, research labs, government organizations and agencies, and more. Over the years, we've seen the pharmacy profession go through changes, but the difference you make in the lives of the people you encounter every day will always remain paramount. Remember to always give your best. It's the daily interactions with patients that can and will truly change and save lives. Enjoy your night. The white coat ceremony is a rite of passage, welcoming you as new students into the healthcare profession. The oath you are taking as pharmacy students is the first step on a journey bound by ethics and honorable behavior, not just as a student, but long into your career in pharmacy. Thank you for choosing to work in our province's healthcare system, assisting to play such a crucial part of the life of every Newfoundlander and Labradorian. I wish each and every one of you a bright and prosperous future. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pam Burns. I would now like to invite our Dean, Dr. Sean Bugden.
Thanks, Erin. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the school, thank you for being here to celebrate the class of 2025 and the class of 2026 as they begin their professional path as future pharmacists. I want to just take a moment to thank President Timmons for being here and Pam Barnes. It makes our night even more special when leaders from the university and the province are here to celebrate with us. Although, Pam, I will say that it scuttled my plan. I was planning on listening very carefully to Minister Hagee, trying to find a quip that I could put on a chocolate bar so that we could fundraise for the... Okay.
I'm not a pharmacist, but I play one at work.
Yeah, all right. And Margot Priddle and Taggedy Norris from the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board. Obviously, we can't celebrate students entering the profession without you folks here. And it's also nice to have Janice Ado from panel. She was kind of the voice of pharmacy during the pandemic, and it's nice to have her voice with us tonight. And of course, the classes of 2025 and 2026. The expression goes, may you live in interesting times. I don't know if that's a good idea. Interesting times is kind of a polite word for troubled or challenging times. And I mean, it's taken us 2 bloody years to get you folks here, and I still haven't seen the bottom half of all of your faces. So, but hopefully, as we move to a post-pandemic or at least endemic world, I can't help but wonder if it's made us stronger. Certainly, pharmacy and pharmacists have been at the front line of the pandemic, and the role of pharmacy as frontline care providers has only been enhanced. So as the pharmacy profession is stronger, I'm excited for the robust and adaptable classes of 2025 and 26 to join the profession and continue the professional progression that we've seen in the last few years. So my main task here is to bring up Don Rowe. It's my distinct pleasure to bring him forward, a former honorary white coat and certainly an exemplar and pillar of the pharmacy community here in Newfoundland. And so it's fitting that he will be presenting the honorary white coat to Christina Tulk, one of those frontline pharmacists that I've been speaking about. I've gotten to know her over the last few years, and then virtually over the last 2 years in her role, her leadership role, the Canadian Pharmacists Association. A very deserving recipient of the white coat. But I was wondering if maybe this year it should be a white cape because of the efforts of pharmacists like Christina on the front line. They really have been superheroes. So I'll ask Don to come forward and he'll share some more about Christina.
Oh, so nice to get that off. It just struck me while I was sitting in the seat earlier. It was in 1964, in September, that I first came as a student at Memorial University. I figured, oh my God, that's 58 years ago. No wonder I need to wear a mask when I go around, in or out or whatever. But President Timmins, Dean Bugden, Ms. Barnes, friends, colleagues, it's great to be here again. He's back again. Leadership, I think, in your profession is demonstrated first and foremost through involvement. I think Dr. Simmons was, or President Timmins was referring to that earlier. And it's involvement in many levels, many ways, involvement that is committed, dedicated, involvement that puts the interests of your patients or your clients or your customers, whatever you choose to call them, you put them ahead of your own interests. Involvement that puts public good above your own personal advantage. Tonight, I'd like to tell you about a pharmacist, a colleague, and I would hope a friend, who I think demonstrates those qualities and excels in those qualities of leadership. That, of course, is Christina Tulk. I saw in the program I have 4 minutes, but I don't think I can get through what Christina's done in 4 minutes, but let me get at it. After obtaining her Bachelor of Science honors degree in 1999, Christina entered the School of Pharmacy here and graduated with her Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy degree in 2002. And that's 20 years ago, as Christina's pointed out already. Where does the time go? Later, she obtained her doctorate in pharmacy degree from the University of Colorado in 2016. A dedicated, what we call a lifelong learner, she has additionally obtained certification in first aid and CPR, pharmacist prescribing, administration of drug therapy via inhalation and injections. She's completed extensive education and, as we said, 20 years experience in community pharmacy management. In 2011, she became a certified diabetes educator. She's been actively involved both at her own pharmacy and in the profession of pharmacy generally in advancing pharmacy practice through initiatives such as the introduction of compliance packaging for individual patients and also in the personal care home setting. She's been involved with medication management, medication reviews, and even de-prescribing. Minor ailments prescribing, antibiotic adherence programs, vaccination, and other injection services. And she's also set up and managed a methadone maintenance program at her own pharmacies. She's facilitated patient clinic days for glucose monitoring and patient callback programs. In 2017, she collaborated with the School of Pharmacy's Dr. Debbie Kelly in an advanced pharmacy practice initiative related to a new approach to HIV point-of-care testing to reduce risk and optimize access to care in HIV in this province. She's contributed to the School of Pharmacy over the years since her graduation as a preceptor for pharmacy students during their practical training and placements. She served as an interviewer of applicants to the school, and let me tell you, that's one hell of a job. I was involved in twice, and twice was too many times, I think, for me. She's donated, listen to this, she's donated, we'll be after you later on, she's donated scholarship money to the university and the School of Pharmacy as well. In 2008, just 4 years after she became a pharmacist, always inclined towards community pharmacy practice, Christina began her career as a pharmacist and the pharmacist manager at Shoppers Drug Mart on West Street in Corner Brook in 2002. And just 4 years later, she became a pharmacist owner with Shoppers Drug Mart in Wesleyville in 2006. And with that, she assumed all of the business responsibilities that management and ownership entails. These include such things as supervising professional practice and standards in the pharmacy, human resource relations, professional development and coaching of staff, accounting, budgeting, financial monitoring, third-party payer relations. There's one of our major ones here. Supply chain management. The list goes on and on and on, as anyone who's ever owned a pharmacy knows. In 2008, she returned to Corner Brook as the pharmacist owner on West Street of Shoppers Drug Mart, and in 2018, she became the pharmacist owner of Shoppers Drug Mart in Millbrook Mall in Corner Brook, where she still practices, and also where she inspires the coming generation of pharmacists. She's regularly been involved in promotion of pharmacy practice through the local media. She served on the Western Memorial Regional Hospital Foundation and the Tree of Life Foundation of the Brookfield Banus Hospital while she was in Wesleyville. Christina served as a board member and past chair of the Corner Brook Downtown Business Association. She's also been active in other community groups such as the Love You Foundation, sponsored by Shoppers Drug Mart, the Corner Brook Status of Women's Council. She served as a director and board chair of the Humber Valley Community YMCA. In 2010, as part of the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the establishment by legislation of the Newfoundland Pharmacy Board and the Newfoundland Pharmacists Society, Christina was named as one of the 100 pharmacists of the last 100 years. That was an honor decided by nomination invited from all the pharmacists in the province. In 2016, she received the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board's Certificate of Recognition, given to recognize registrants for outstanding dedication and contribution to the board, those who made special contribution at the local, provincial, or national level, who've shown commitment to the profession of pharmacy. In closing, I'd have to add, impressive to me at last is Christina's achievements, which include that she used to own and ride a highway motorcycle. Apparently she gave that up last year. She was a little bit busy, I believe. But as Neil Young has put it, she was an unknown legend in her time. The chrome and steel she rides, colliding with the very air she breathes. But wait, there's even more. Christina holds a third-degree black belt in Shokotan karate. And I'd think twice before picking a fight with her, let me tell you. My friends, please congratulate with me the chair of the Canadian Pharmacists Association, Sensei Christina Tulk, this year's White Coat recipient and first graduate of Memorial University School of Pharmacy to receive this honor. I think I think in my haste to get my 4 minutes in, I've left out even the page that talks about her national involvement with the Canadian Pharmacists Association, both as board of directors and as their current chairman of the board of the Canadian Pharmacists Association. Christine.
Just like everybody else, thank God we can take these off for a few minutes. I really don't know what to say. But President Timmons, Ms. Barnes, Dean Bogdan, invited guests, students. I think I'll start by thanking the individuals who put my name forward, who felt that it was appropriate to recognize me and that I was deserving for such an award. So I'll start by thanking you. I am both honored and humbled to be a member of this group of very esteemed pharmacists who have been recognized like this before. So there's Dwight Ball, Don Rowe, Dave Collins, Arlene Crane, and Linda Hensman. I'm going to tell you a little story about Linda Hensman. Memorial University is a very special place. The School of Pharmacy is a very special school. Small class size, so from the very beginning, not only do you get to know the students, but you get to know the faculty and staff as well. And you will see that when you graduate, many of those individuals who sat in front of you and told you all about constipation and mental illness and smoking cessation. I'm pretty much listing all of Leslie Phillips' lectures. And she's a very good friend, by the way, to this day. I love Leslie. I love all of the colleagues and friends that I have made from the School of Pharmacy. I'll tell you a little special story about Linda. I had been graduated probably about a year, maybe, and I was in her office, which means I was in St. John's for some reason, and I was sitting in front of her, and we were chatting back and forth, and I said something along the lines, and I addressed her as Dr. Hensman, and she looked at me and she said, "You can call me Linda now." And I don't know if I said what I was thinking or if I was just thinking it. I was like, I don't think I can. And for those of you who know Dr. Hensman, she commands respect from the very beginning when you meet her. And I'm very happy to say that she's a very trusted advisor and friend right now. I wouldn't be able to do any of what Don has listed in my 20 years of being a pharmacist if I didn't have people behind me. And I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my peeps at Shoppers Drug Mart in the Millbrook Mall. And I think Kyle is here somewhere, so hey, Kyle. Kyle's been with us a couple of summers as a student, and Kyle's a great student, I must say. But they're so flexible and they're so supportive of what I do. They rearranged schedules for me to be here, and I appreciate that. So a shout out to them. I also told them that they should probably watch this tonight. It's a condition of their employment. But to the students out there, find yourself a mentor. And then when you finally graduated and you're out in the pharmacy world, be a mentor. And I have one. She's working for me today too, God love her. She is a class of 1992, Karen Colburn. And she's really the one who encouraged me and made me enthusiastic about being involved in the profession. And I owe a lot of what I've done to her. So, students, we're going to pass the torch to you guys. We're going to need you guys to continue the work that we've done. leading up to today when you finally get out and you're graduated and you're working. And I know a lot of you are very enthusiastic and you can't wait to graduate and get out there and change the world. And I hope that that enthusiasm that you have continues on into your pharmacy practice, because we need you. And I would be remiss if I didn't look around the crowd, and I've got to put this plug in. And the demographics of our profession is changing. When I graduated, we were about 50-50, men and women. And now we're at 70-30 for the women. So our demographics are changing in our profession. Unfortunately, the same can't be true for ladies who own stores, and ladies who have board seats, and ladies who are active in our profession. It's actually 30-70 approximately. So we're going to be looking for the ladies in the room to pass the torch to as well. And I think the very fact that the president of panel is a woman, the chair of the pharmacy board is a woman, and the chair of the Canadian Pharmacy Association is a woman. That in itself, without saying anything, is very powerful. And guys, we need you to support us. And we also need you guys to step up to the plate too and continue to push the procession forward. I'm not going to be long-winded. I could sit and talk about pharmacy for hours. But I'm going to end with a quote from a conference that I attended a couple of weeks ago. I was lucky enough to go down to San Antonio, Texas, and attend the American Pharmacists Association through my involvement as chair of CPHA. And we are in academia now, so I know it's important to cite your source. Sadly, I can't remember the lady who said this, so I'm going to paraphrase. But it really rang through with me. I don't want you to walk in my shoes. I want you to find your own shoes. I said I wasn't going to do this. And it never works. Just ask the people who work for me. Put them next to mine, and let's push the profession forward together. But just do me one big favor. Please make sure the shoes are fashionable, or you will have to answer to Debbie and Lisa. Okay? Thank you so much. This is such an honor. I wish I could do more, to be quite honest with you. And I don't know if I'll be here in 20 years' time, but I can tell you that I will be just as involved then as I am now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bugden, Mr. Rowe, and congratulations, Ms. Tulk. You are well established, well accomplished, and we are all so proud of you. The Pharmacists Association of Newfoundland and Labrador seeks to advance the social, economic, and professional well-being of pharmacists in the province. Janice Odo serves as president, and as I've already mentioned, she is an alumna of our school in the class of 2015, and is currently enrolled in our PharmD Working Professionals program. As we move into the second half and culmination of the evening, I ask Janice to come forward to address the audience. Also mask relief. Whew, goodness. Okay, thank you, Erin, and good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Timmons, Dean Bugden, and Ms. Barnes. It's my pleasure to be here this evening on behalf of the Pharmacists Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. First, I'd like to start by congratulating my colleague, Christina Tulk, on receiving the honorary white coat. I was thinking a little bit about this, and Don had talked about the interview process to get into the program and how he doesn't like that process. Well, you should be on the other side. So that also isn't fun. And I didn't get in the first time I applied for pharmacy school. So when I didn't, I kind of
tried to reevaluate and say like, do I really want to do this? Should I reapply? And I showed up at Christina's store on West Street when she was the associate owner and asked if I could shadow, and I wanted to learn a bit about the profession and make sure that, it was a good fit for me. And here I am, and oh my goodness, 12 years later, so thank you. It's seriously very well deserved and very proud. And to the classes of 2025 and 2026, a sincere congratulations on your entrance into the School of Pharmacy. As a graduate of this program in 2015, it's pretty overwhelming to think about how much I've learned as a student and as a practicing pharmacist since that time. That was 11 years ago. It's not 58, but it still feels like a long time to me. The profession you've chosen is an honorable one and one which comes with great responsibility. Pharmacists are one of our most trusted healthcare professionals and are held in high regard by our patients and the general public. Never has this been more evident since the COVID-19 pandemic. Pharmacists were one of the only healthcare providers who were fully accessible to residents, showing up each and every day to care for and support our patients. Leaders in the community, pharmacists educated and guided folks through the many challenges over the past 2 years, and I couldn't be more proud of each and every one of my pharmacy peers. And today, you are pledging to uphold and nurture the trust with those you will serve, and with your colleagues, and with all you will interact with in your role as a pharmacist. As your professional association, Panel enjoys a collaborative working relationship with the School of Pharmacy, CAPC, and MUPS, supporting students on multiple fronts. In addition to welcoming student representatives to our board of directors and board committees, we are all proud to once again provide this year's white coats. The coats are embroidered with the Panel logo, signifying your chosen profession as well as your relationship with your provincial association. Panel advocates for you and for all of our members for the advancement of the profession of pharmacy. The expanded role of the pharmacist over the past few years has been significant, in large part due to the advocacy of your professional association and our partners, such as the Provincial Pharmacy Board. And while the scope of our practice and corresponding regulations have notably broadened, our healthcare system needs to catch up with us, leveraging the skills and knowledge of pharmacists in the delivery of frontline healthcare. This would greatly benefit both patients and the system itself. Over the course of this year, Panel worked closely and extensively with members of the Health Accord NL Task Force, and we're optimistic that through this work, the scope of pharmacist practice in this province will be broadened once again. To the students from the School of Pharmacy who will don their white coats this evening, I encourage you to embrace the commitment you make tonight and let it guide your actions every day as you progress through your schooling and your pharmacy career. Be proud of the quality of service that you and your colleagues provide to patients. Refuse to accept the status quo in practice and look for opportunities to leave your mark both on the profession and in your patients' lives. Work hard, push boundaries, and make the practice you envision for yourself over the next 4 years a reality. To the proud families and supporters in the room, make every effort to support and encourage your future pharmacists as they will work to fulfill their goals. We at Panel will be doing the same. And to the students here this evening, no one understands what you're going through like your classmates. So forget about the competition and the highest marks. So I graduated in 2015 and am still in school. So I'm doing the PharmD program, and we've developed a group from our Bachelor of Science program that we still all consult back and forth throughout the day, like, what would you do here? I've never seen this. And we also have a pandemic-proof girl gang for the PharmD program. And we stick together very closely because there's no way you can do it by yourself. So you need to support each other and create relationships that will get you through not just your degree, but your profession and your chosen careers. And those relationships that you develop over the next few years will last a lifetime. So on behalf of our association, congratulations on your entry into the profession. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ado. You are absolutely right. The family will stick together forever, and you certainly do need one another. I'd now like to invite forward Margot Friddle, Registrar of the Newfoundland Labrador Pharmacy Board, which is our regulatory body responsible for settling the standards for licensing of pharmacists and the practice of pharmacy in the province. As pharmacy students at Memorial University, we must be licensed with the Pharmacy Board, so this is a very important moment, and we're very happy to have you speak here today.
Testing. We're all good. Excellent. Thank you. I will tell a funny story as I start. As I started this evening, I mentioned to my husband that I was going to be mic'd up, and he said, "That's not a good thing. You think out loud. That's not a good thing." So I will try to remember to turn this off afterwards. So I'll start by saying what a wonderful evening this is, and greetings, everyone. Congratulations to the students on your accomplishment and hard work that earned you a place in this very rewarding and prestigious program. I am so pleased to be here this evening. It has been 2 years since we've been able to meet to do this, and I can honestly say that as Registrar of the Pharmacy Board, this event is something that I've always looked to as an annual event, and it was one that I truly missed. In preparing for what I was going to say this evening, I was recalling the words of the registrar, Jim O'Mara, who spoke to my class those oh so many years ago. It wasn't 58, but it was 30. Some of the words I recall are professionalism, ethics, accountability, and learning. These values and concepts still hold true today, and I would hazard a guess that in another 30 years they will still hold true within this ceremony. When I was sitting where you are now, I remember asking myself, why am I choosing pharmacy, and what does it mean to be a pharmacist? So I'm going to take my few minutes here this evening to talk to you about what I've learned over the years about what it means to be a pharmacist. During your educational journey in the School of Pharmacy, you will develop a unique and specialized knowledge that is vital to society. This has never been more apparent than during the last few years as we face the COVID-19 pandemic. Pharmacy professionals became patients' primary touchpoints within the healthcare system, whether it was managing the drug supply, prescribing, or administering vaccines. The accessibility of pharmacists has been key to providing quality patient care to the public during this time. Just as I recognize the invaluable contributions of the pharmacy professionals who have been working in the field and front line during the pandemic, I would also like to commend each and every one of you for choosing to pursue a career as essential service provider and to play a very important role within our public health system. If you have chosen pharmacy because you have a passion to help people in their time of need, then you've chosen the right profession. Choosing this profession means making a lifelong commitment to support your patients' well-being and to always act within their best interest. If there's one thing that I'd like you to remember from your registrar's statement here this evening, is that at the end of every prescription, there's a patient. It's someone's mother, it's someone's father, it's someone's child, or someone's grandparent. Over the next few years, you will be instilled with a commitment of putting patients' interests first, as well as a commitment to the quality of services you provide. While the degree that you will earn from one of the best schools of pharmacy in the country is the first step to becoming a pharmacist, your journey with learning and professional development will certainly not stop there. It is your responsibility to continually improve your professional knowledge and skill. Through your participation in this evening's white coat ceremony, you are creating an intellectual and ethical contract with the profession and the patients that you will be caring for. From this moment on, you have a responsibility to care for your patients who often put their lives in the hands of their healthcare providers. Later this evening, as you put on your white lab coat, please consider the symbolic nature of that moment. You are not just donning a white lab coat that will keep your clothes clean from the work that you perform every day, but you are stepping into the attitudes and accountabilities of a healthcare professional. To some, becoming a pharmacist may mean a ways of making a living, a way to pay the bills, which I'm sure is a relief for any parent in the room this evening or anyone watching virtually. However, becoming a pharmacist ultimately means becoming a healthcare professional. The professional status of pharmacy in our province can be traced back to 1910, when a group of St. John's druggists, or chemists as they were called, met with the Prime Minister of the British colony of Newfoundland to discuss the proposed pharmacy bill. The minutes actually of this meeting, for anyone who would care to or are interested in that, can be found in the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Museum. If we fast forward more than 100 years to today, as a new member of the pharmacy profession, I would say to you that besides learning the academics of becoming a pharmacist, you would be wise to also become knowledgeable about the profession of pharmacy. It is a privilege to be a self-regulated professional. You are accountable for shaping your practice by the regulations and standards that the profession sets. But most importantly, you must incorporate professional attitudes and ethics of pharmacy into your professional decisions. Only then will you truly be a pharmacist. In the presence of many prominent pharmacists and guests here this evening, I wish you a long, fulfilling career in a very special profession that is devoted to patient care. On behalf of the Pharmacy Board, I welcome the class of 2025 and 2026 and look forward to the fresh perspectives that you will bring to the expanding role pharmacists play in our healthcare system. Thank you very much. I will remember.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priddle, for being here with us today. As Ms. Priddle alluded to, the Code of Ethics guides the practice and professional behavior of pharmacists. It is composed of 10 value statements with a number of sub-statements which further define each value. At this time, I ask our alumna, Taggart Norris, to come forward and lead the recitation. Noel Patton, Associate Registrar with the Pharmacy Board, will present the code to Megan Critch in the class of 2025 and Robert Williamson in the class of 2026.
Good evening, everybody. Oops, sorry. First, congratulations, Christina. I'm so honored to be here. It doesn't seem like that long ago that I was where you guys sit today, nervous, pitter-patter, my heart rate, not knowing what to expect. So I'm on the other side tonight. So pharmacy professionals play a pivotal role along the continuum of healthcare provided to the public. The responsibility that comes with being an essential health resource is significant. To maintain the high level of trust and respect that is given to pharmacists and pharmacy technicians by patients, the public, and other healthcare professionals, pharmacists and pharmacy technicians must be competent and professional in all that they do. As professionals, pharmacists and pharmacy technicians are challenged and expected to abide by a higher standard of conduct. Consistent ethical behavior creates a positive image of the individual pharmacist, which extends to the image of the profession. Conversely, unethical practices create a negative image and can diminish the trust and credibility of both the pharmacist and the pharmacy profession. Ethics are the foundation for professional behavior, actions, and attitudes. The Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board Code of Ethics represents what the profession stands for, reinforces what is unique about the contribution registrants make to patients, to society, and to their profession. The mission of the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board is to protect the people of the province by governing the profession of pharmacy to ensure quality and ethical care. The Code of Ethics supports the board in fulfilling this mission. It also serves as a benchmark for addressing registrants' conduct and enables the board to provide direction to registrants who may be faced with ethical dilemmas. The following are the value statements of the Code of Ethics to which all pharmacists must adhere. Registrants hold the health and safety of each patient to be a primary consideration. Registrants maintain a professional relationship with each patient. Registrants respect the autonomy, values, and dignity of each patient. Registrants respect and protect the patient's right to confidentiality. Registrants respect the patient's right to receive care. Registrants observe the law, preserve high professional standards, and uphold the dignity and honor of the profession. Registrants continuously improve their levels of professional knowledge and skills. Registrants cooperate with colleagues and other healthcare professionals to ensure optimal patient-centered care. Registrants contribute to the healthcare system and to societal health needs. Registrants act to enhance and nurture the profession of pharmacy. Each student has been provided with a copy of the Code of Ethics, as well as an abbreviated version which has the 10 value statements. This abbreviated copy has a place for students to sign in recognition of their agreement to abide by the code. As chair of the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board, I extend to you my congratulations and welcome you to a very special profession. I would now like to ask Ms. Noelle Patton to present to class representatives Ms. Megan Critch of the class of 25 and Mr. Robert Williamson of the class of 2026, a ceremonial copy of the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board Code of Ethics. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Ms. Norris, Ms. Patton, Ms. Critch, and Mr. Williamson. And now we come to the main event. I asked Dr. Stephanie Young to lead the ceremonial donning of the white coats for the classes of 2025 and 2026.
Thank you, Erin. I'm one of those that am not yet ready to remove my mask, so I will be leaving mine on. I've been lecturing all semester for 2 hours at a time, and the students all say they can hear me, so hopefully this goes well. So thank you, Erin. And first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Christina as well. Very deserving. So the White Lab Code in the healthcare profession has a tradition of symbolizing specialized education, training, and experience. To patients and others, it generates attitudes and feelings of respect, trust, and responsibility. The donning of the white coats will be done by pharmacists who exemplify the highest standards of professional practice and well represent the diversity and history that defines our pharmacy community. As we have 2 classes this year, we also have 9 pharmacists donning the white coat on the classes of 25 and 26. Karina Arnold, Michael Batt, Dr. Scott Edwards, Robert Fish, Chris Fraser, Megan Butt, Haggerty Norris, Carol Reed, and Ryan Rose. I'd now like to ask Michael, Chris, Scott, Robert, and Karina to come forward to assist the students in the donning of their white coats. So I'll now ask the class of 2025 to rise. I will call you up in groups of 5. As your name is called, please come forward to have your lab coat presented to you. And when you return to your seat, please be seated. However, what we would like to say as well is once you have your coat on, we'd like for you just to pause for a moment and look up towards the camera so we can get a picture. So Brooke Batt, Hannah Blair, Erica Cadwell, Megan Critch, and Kimberly Deere. Anna Edwards, Kyle Fraser, Victoria Greening, Joshua Griffin, and Julia Guju. Braden Hallwig, Noah Harris, Megan Jensen, Laura Keefe, Matthew Kelly. Asha Kennedy, Yin Hyun Kim, Melanie King, Michael Lahi, Kyle Lorraine. Megan Lear, Mackenzie Leonard Power, Tyler Mahaney, Victoria Marsh, Megan McGraw. Alexandra Moss, Nicole Pike, Nicholas Poole, Catherine Power, Hillary Randall. Tristan Solomon de Friedberg, Ann Seedy, Hannah Sheehan, Samantha Situpam, Madison Timmons. Nicole Tinsky, Alyssa Watkins, Kayla Watton. I will now ask the class of 2026 to rise, and I'll call you up in groups of 5. And as your name is called, come forward to have your lab coat presented to you. And when you return to your seats, please be seated. Darcy Beaumont, Destiny Bennett, Jenna Bradley, William Brown, Emily Butt. Wooji Choi, Ian Colburn, Jacob Evoy, Jack Fish, Amber Fitzpatrick. Kyle Foley, Jennifer Hart, Annika Healy, Tyler Herrick, Tom Hassenpour. Faith Isaacs, Kiana James, Mahiba Khan, Madison Legg, Kaiwen Liu. Taylor McBeath, Emily Mead, Haley Noel, Sarah Noseworthy, Kyla O'Brien. Claire Organ, Abigail Osmond, Zoe Park, Lindsay Porter, Michael Reed. Emily Reed, Laura Roach, Brandon Seward, Katie Shute, Wayne Walsh. Ashton Wells, Robert Williamson, Sarah Woodford, Jessica Yard. So the last group is challenging because they're the ones we're all waiting for them to get back to their seats. No pressure. So for those last group of you, don't sit down, because I'm going to ask all of the students to stand. So join me in welcoming the classes of 2025 and 2026 into the profession of pharmacy. Now you get to sit down.
Thank you so much, Dr. Young, and congratulations to each and every one of you. This is such an honor to be here witnessing it all, and I can't imagine the excitement that you have at this time, and you should all be so incredibly proud of yourself. I'll now invite forward Sarah O'Reilly from the class of 2024, who will lead the classes of 2025 and 2026 in the recitation of the Pledge of Professionalism. Students, when you recite the pledge, it signifies your entry into the profession. As you recite this pledge, please listen to the text and begin to think about how you will apply these values to your futures as pharmacists.
right. Good evening to the pharmacy faculty members, distinguished guests, and the classes of 2025 and 2026. My name is Sarah O'Reilly. I am the MUN Pharmacy Society's treasurer, and I'm in my 3rd year of pharmacy here at Memorial. In the past 3 years, I have had the opportunity to learn from some amazing pharmacists in our field, which means I have seen firsthand how important professionalism is in the practice of pharmacy. That is why when we enter pharmacy school, we are asked to recite the Pledge of Professionalism, to vow that we will do our best to uphold the values and to maintain the integrity of what it means to be a pharmacist. Knowing that our actions in our time spent in pharmacy school and later on in practice reflect upon the profession as a whole. As pharmacy students, we come to the profession with varying experiences and backgrounds. This pledge of professionalism unites us in our commitment to our education, our patients, our colleagues, and the profession. As pharmacy students, at this time, I would like to ask the members of the class of 2025 and the class of 2026 to stand with me for the reciting of the Pledge of Professionalism. Please read along with me. As a pharmacy student and a member of the pharmacy community, I believe there is a need to develop a professional identity built on integrity, ethical behavior, and honor. This process begins with my enrollment at the School of Pharmacy and forms the basis for a successful education and entry into professional practice. Integrity will be an essential part of my everyday life, and I will pursue all personal, educational, and professional endeavors with honesty and commitment. As a member of the pharmacy community, I am an ambassador for all other members, and I will work to ensure my actions uphold the integrity and prestige of other members and of the profession. To accomplish this goal of professional development as a pharmacy student, I will accept the responsibility for my education and become I will pursue professional competency through self-directed and continual learning journey. I will adopt professional and ethical behavior within the university and in practice settings. I will develop a sense of loyalty and duty to the profession by contributing to the well-being of others and by accepting the responsibility for membership in the profession. I will uphold the profession of pharmacy with respect and pride. I will speak respectfully of the profession and strive to promote the positive contributions the profession can make to a patient's care amongst my professional peers, within the university community and to society. I will strive for high ideals, cooperation, and harmony amongst my classmates, faculty and staff, and professional colleagues within the university community and the profession. I will support my colleagues by actively encouraging personal commitment to the Code of Ethics of the Newfoundland and Labrador Pharmacy Board and to this pledge of professionalism. I will maintain the highest ideals and attributes to encourage positive rapport and trust in relationships in the provision of pharmaceutical care. The profession of pharmacy is one that demands high ethical standards. High ideals are necessary to ensure the quality of care extended to patients. I will strive to uphold these standards as I advance through my undergraduate education at Memorial University, Newfoundland, within the profession of pharmacy. I voluntarily make this pledge. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, everyone. On behalf of the students in the classes of 2025 and 2026, I would like to thank all the participants for their roles in making this white coat ceremony so memorable. As well, to another superhero in the room, I'd like to thank Sharon Tucker. This event has been planned and dismantled and planned again, and she has been here through all of it, and she's done a tremendous job for everyone here today, and we all thank you so much, Sharon Tucker. And again, thank you all for being here this evening, and I hope you can join the class in celebration at a reception sponsored by Sobeys Pharmacy and Lawton's Pharmacy, which will be held in the glass atrium of the new Medical Education Center. There's volunteers waiting outside the auditorium to direct you over there. As well, I remind the classes of 2025 and 2026 to stay here in the auditorium to have a group photo taken after the audience has departed. And thank you all so much for coming today, and I hope you enjoy the reception and the rest of your evening.